Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to have another tier list Tuesday here, and we're going to take a look at the top legacy charge moves for the Open Ultra League. This is only for the Open Ultra League, not for any other leagues. I see always some people going to be a little bit confused, and we're going to start right into it with the Swampert. Having the legacy move Hydrochem is one of the best moves that you can have for this Pokemon. Definitely go for it if you can. Very strong move, very cool one. Something that's very good to have is actually a Lugia with Aeroblast for this meta. Kinda underrated. I think this has more potential than people think, just very often overlooked, to be fair. As we're going to have also the Gyarados, which is very decent, good to have as well. Not top tier meta, good to have is basically something that you should also kind of have, but it's not completely meta. Must have is literally the top Pokemon. Like, there's nothing else that you really want to have. Those are Pokemon that you should prioritize and have immediately as soon as possible. But next one going to be Orosphere Togekiss. Yeah, going to be a spicy Pokemon to have. And now in lower tiers, Togekiss is there a little bit, but like you can have Orosphere. If you don't have Orosphere, use Flamethrower. The difference is not really that big. But higher up, you don't really see Togekiss anyway. You're going to just fly through them, as you're going to have as the next Pokemon the Ho-Oh with Sacred Fire. For this meta, most likely a little bit better compared to the move Earthquake, but here we're going to still put it a little bit below Lugia. Good to have, definitely. It's a very interesting Pokemon to have. I used it several times, but honestly, it's more like a spice. Like, this is more spice than Lugia is. Lugia is really bulky. This Pokemon was a lot of fun to use, though, so that's kinda nice to have. Next one going to be Stone Edge variant of Blaziken. Good to have, in my opinion, very decent, while the Blast Burn, I still say just no. Like, honestly, for Blast Burn, you don't really need Blast Burn on this Pokemon. It's Stone Edge or Brave Bird on the Blaziken. Blast Burn usually doesn't really help too much. Next Pokemon that's kind of spicy, but actually has some kind of play, is the Rayquaza in the Ultra League. Breaking Swipe is kind of cool. Maybe I want to try to make another video about this one as well. Maybe I even did, who knows? I don't know what I did in the future here, but you're going to take a look here at the Breaking Swipe. Definitely a cool move to have. Definitely the best Dragon type charge move in the game, or say the best charge move right now. But next one going to be the Blastoise with Hydrochem. Very cool Pokemon right now, especially for the Ultra League. Hydrochem is very, very nice for this, and in general, Blastoise is very nice. As we're going to have another Pokemon that's decent in the Ultra League, not as good as in the Great League or in the Master League, going to be the Hexterus, most likely a little bit more potential even than the Blastoise, as now we're going to have a Pokemon that has a little bit potential, but they are just better Pokemon, to be fair. So I would just put just no. It's not even spicy because they are just better options with the evolution of, not the evolution, the Gastrodon there. Gastrodon is just a better Pokemon for it. It's not really that spicy even. It's just not really unique anymore, sadly, so just don't really use it. Next one going to be a Licky. Very cool Pokemon. Definitely something that you should have, or like could have if you want to. Still have to build mine. Very versatile, has a lot of bulk, is having Body Slam, of course, having Shadow Ball, having Earthquake. A very cool Pokemon to use, but kinda underrated. Something that's definitely not underrated is going to be Charizard, one of the best Pokemon for this meta. Same goes for Corbellion, kinda must have as well, if a lower tier, but kinda a really strong Pokemon. Kinda went a little bit downhill recently, but is still definitely a very strong Pokemon to use. As well as the Cross-Chop variant of this Pokemon is more spicy of the Primeape. Primeape itself is a very good fighter, by the way. Definitely a cool one. You need XL Candies to get this Pokemon, though. But Cross-Chop, not really ideal. Usually you want to use Close Combat for the extra damage. Also, what you don't want to use is the Draco Meteor on the Dragonite. You just don't really want to use Draco Meteor on it. Dragonite itself, very cool Pokemon for this meta, but you don't need any legacy moves for it. So that's nice. You also definitely don't want to have Beedrill. That's still in there from the Great League, which I didn't fish out before, so sorry for that. But it's just no, I actually have a Beedrill with Drill Run build for the Ultra League. It goes to like 2100 rating or something, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, just don't build a Beedrill. Next one, going to be the Earth Power variant of the Flygon. I actually have to put it into the lower good to have tier because it was super meta actually for a recent cup for the Ultra League, which was like the Steel Dragon Fairy Cup, which was really, really nice. So definitely the Fantasy Cup, I think it was called. Earth Power variant of this Pokemon, very cool for this cup, but only for this cup, otherwise not really. Earthquake Politoed, very good Pokemon. Would be definitely something good to have. I played the Ice Beam variant recently, very strong Pokemon as well, but Earthquake is also nice. Earthquake on the At least currently, Earthquake on the Regirock is not really that ideal. It's also kind of on the low list for good to have, but you don't really want to prioritize it. Spice is Flamethrower on this Pokemon, or in general this Pokemon. Usually you want Ice Punch anyway, so honestly it's just no. Like, you want Ice Punch and the other move, what's called the Wild Charge on it, because Ice Punch gives you coverage against ground type moves. You don't really want to have Flamethrower. Usually they're just like certain matchups where you maybe want to have it for just like pure steel types, but they're not that many, and you can just go for a Wild Charge anyway. So yeah, definitely not really something that you want to have. Something that you want to have, which is sadly not like directly meta, like not as crazy, is going to be Frenzy Plant. That's called Chestnut here, very strong Pokemon again. Something that's spicier is going to be the Glaciate variant of the Kyurem, a little bit higher than the what's called the Rayquaza most likely. Even though they're kind of very similar, not gonna lie, but Ice Tipping is very offensive. Something spicy is going to be the Shadow Punch variant of Gengar. If you want to use it, you kind of have to use it. I actually encountered quite a few recently of it, but you don't really need this Pokemon. Like, it's a really bad Pokemon to use right now. Same goes for Breloom. You don't really need it. It's somewhere really low there, Grass Knot. It's spice, but like, yeah, honestly, just no. Like, you just don't really want to have this Pokemon at all. Next one, going to be Grass Knot on Cresselia. Definitely Grass Knot on Cresselia, and Cresselia is going to be very high up. By the way, how I rate this is like mainly how good the Pokemon would be if they have the move. And like this Pokemon here, for example, Dragonite with Draco Meteor is way worse than, for example, a normal one. While those are like kind of spicy, they all work out kind of well. The good to have tier is like, of course, good to have, and the must have is something that you really need. Also, with the move itself, you kind of really need it. Earthquake on the what's called onto the Ho-Oh. Honestly, I feel like it's not really needed right now. I feel like Sacred Fire is so much better, so it's just no for me, to be fair. It's like kind of high up, like you can definitely build it. Like, this is definitely super low here, by the way. But yeah, like you can definitely build it, but it's not as really, yeah, you don't really need it. Like, Sacred Fire is just better. Hurricane on the Articuno. It's more spicy. I feel like you don't really want to have it too often, but you can have it. It's not a bad option for it. I would put it a little bit higher here as well. The thing is, you kind of want to have Ancient Power right now for the matchup against the Charizard. And Charizard is fairly common, so Ancient Power is kind of nice for that regard. So you don't really need Hurricane too much. Next Pokemon, it is... I just feel like you kind of really need one buff for this Pokemon. I'm gonna put him still into good to have here because the spice, it's not really that spicy. And just now, it's also not really fitting for it, but like, it's kind of sad. Next one going to be the Hydrochem variant of the Greninja, which is coming very soon to the game. When you see this, it should be most likely already also completely announced for this one. Also, if you saw my video about the new fast move that's most likely gonna get, the Water Shuriken, very cool Pokemon, definitely high up here. It's still kind of spicy, especially for this league, so I wouldn't really put that crazy high up, but very cool Pokemon. When it comes out, it's not going to be out, I think, when this video drops, but it's going to be out, like, I think the next weekend afterwards or something. So definitely cool Pokemon. Same goes for the next Water starter with Hydrochem. They're all kind of in a similar tier here, and they all have very similar stuff to do. Next Pokemon going to be Ice Beam on the Politoed. Very cool Pokemon as well right now. Played it a little bit. It was a lot of fun to play with Ice Beam as well. But Blizzard might be also fairly decent, so I actually would put it a little bit lower again. It is a good Pokemon though. Like, this Pokemon itself is very good. With Ice Beam it's also very fine. But Blizzard works out as well. Earthquake works out as well. Like, they are a different option. Ice Beam is actually something that I would put higher than I thought on Lapras. I usually thought like you want to run Skull Bash on this Pokemon, but Ice Beam I feel like is a little bit better nowadays. So I would put it also a little bit higher here as well. Recently made a video for this Pokemon as well. Very strong Pokemon. And now we're going to have another must-have, which is going to be Icicle Spear on Warrain. Very strong Pokemon again here right now, especially for the Ultra League. This Pokemon shines really nice. A Pokemon that I actually don't put to must-have because it's Ultra League is going to be the Umbreon with Last Resort. Fairly decent Pokemon to have. But it's not as crazy strong anymore compared to the Great League. Great League, it's still definitely the way to go for this Pokemon. But next Pokemon going to be the Umbreon again, but with Psychic. And I just would put it to just now. Like, I haven't seen a single use case really for this Pokemon with Psychic before for the Ultra League. So I'm just gonna put it down there. You don't really want it. You don't really need it. So we're going to leave it there. Something spicy, which definitely can function, but like, you don't, it's just like, it's like super low here. Lost Purge again way higher than the other one. The thing is, for those Pokemon, Latios, Dragon Breath users are better in Great League compared to Ultra League. If they're squishy, because Ultra League has more bulk, and like bulky Pokemon are just going to be way better in the Ultra League compared to squishy Pokemon, so that's a little bit tricky. Something that's also more fun to use is like Magma Storm Heatran. Very good typing though, has a lot of potential to, like trap something in. For example, completely resist every single move of a Cresselia, but still not really the meta way you're going to try to use it. Same goes for the, I don't even know the name of this, Gigalith, I think. You're going to put this here also somewhere in the Spice meta because like you can actually try to play it a little bit. Media Beam is better on this Pokemon, but this Pokemon just needs a better fast move. I really wish there would be like something, a Wing Attack clone as a Rock type fast move. That would be really cool to see, but right now this Pokemon still needs a better fast move to really have any chance. This next Pokemon is kind of underrated and I really would like to see it a little bit more. Frenzy Plant on the Meganium, very cool there to have. But yeah, we're going to have the next Pokemon here. It's Moonblast variant of the Altaria. Very bulky Pokemon, but it's more of a spicy Pokemon in general to use. So I would put it here, but I would put it like very high up there. You don't really need to have it. Like you just go for a Dragonite and you have the same typing. So there's no real reason for this. Next Pokemon is something that I like at least to, like, it's spicy to be fair. Night Slash variant of the Sandslash. It's a spicy Pokemon to use. It's somewhere around Gengar. Like it's not really something that you need to have. But very interesting if you have it. Pokemon number, the next one here is going to be the good to have variant of the Obstruct Obstagoon. This is going to be also a fine Pokemon to use, as Obstruct actually benefits a little bit more from the Ultra League bulk. I made a video about the Ultra League Obstruct variant of Obstagoon as well, and definitely something interesting to have. Same goes for Payback on Machamp. I feel like it has a little bit more play on the Ultra League compared to the Great League, but still, it's still more of a spicy moveset here. You don't really want to have it, like Machamp itself is already spicy and you usually want to have Rock Set for the flying type boys there. Same goes for Stone Edge. Stone Edge is a little bit lower than Payback in my opinion, but like those two Pokemon, yeah, it's going to be somewhere like here. Like it's a spicy Pokemon to use right now in general. I don't really see any Machamp, but when you see it, like they usually have Rock Slide because it's just better right now. It's just a little bit better. But Payback has at least a little bit of potential, so maybe I would actually put it to like good to have, as it has potential to hit the Giratina and the Cresselia a little bit harder, which is really cool. Next Pokemon, just know in general, but also the charge move is going to be Poltergeist variant of the Chandelure. I have no idea why they made the Poltergeist so bad. Like they can definitely buff this. Don't know why this move even exists for this Pokemon. Shadow Ball is just way better for this Pokemon. It is sad. Really wish it would be decent, but I don't know why they did this. Like they definitely didn't need to like handle this Pokemon or whatever. It's a very squishy, frail Pokemon that you don't really see too often anyway. So don't really see the reason for it. Psychic Fangs on Luxray, very spicy Pokemon to use. Sometimes a little bit funny to use, so I'm gonna put it a little bit higher here as well. But yeah, it's a spicy pick. It's not really that crazy. Something that's good to have, but not as common anymore, is going to be the Armored Mewtwo. I played it recently as well. It was better than I expected. It's somewhere around like Lugia area, I feel like. Somewhere there it kind of deserves to be. Next Pokemon going to be a Psyshock variant of the XL variant of the Hypno. So that's also more of a spicy pick to use. Has a little bit of potential though. Kind of want to build it eventually, but it's not as great. Of course, the Spice Lord is well going to be the Mewtwo, somewhere here as well. Like Mewtwo, especially with, like, I played it, the Shadow variant of this before. It is a little bit better in my opinion in Ultra League compared to Great League, because they actually have a little bit more bulk on the Mewtwo as well. So, fun Pokemon to use, but not as crazy good. Good to have, I guess, Psyshock, Sylveon a little bit better in the Ultra League compared to Great League, but not really as good anymore unless you really want to use it like Charm Hole or something, then you can play this Pokemon. Something that really sad they have to put into the Just Note here is going to be the Drain Punch variant of the, forgot the name? Beware, like Drain Punch needs a buff. Like Drain Punch is horrific. Nobody would ever want to use it. It's somewhere there with like Draco Meteor, the Dragonite, but yeah, you don't want to have this one, please don't go for it. Next one going to be Rock Slide onto the Omastar, very spicy move, like Pokemon in general. You can run it, it's kind of fun to run, but it's like it completely destroys something like the Charizard, which is kind of funny. But against a lot of other Pokemon in the meta, the typing itself is just very bad. Like, double weakness against grass is not really nice. Weakness against fighting is not really nice. There's so many weaknesses which are just not really happy for this Pokemon here. But if you want to run it, definitely with a Rock Slide. But yeah, somewhere in like the area of, yeah, those Media Beam users, like Spicy Pick, where you kind of want to have the move, but you don't really need to. Next one, tier, rank 1 tier right now for sure. Summer here as well, definitely higher than Cobalion. It's going to be a Virizion with the move Sacred Sword, very cool Pokemon. This Pokemon is actually a little bit better in the Ultra League as well here, Superior. Again, there are better grass type starters right now, so I'm not gonna put it too high. Somewhere around here. Very bulky though, like, which makes this really cool. Next Pokemon, yes, you kind of want to have it with a move, but you don't want to have this Pokemon in general because it's not unique. Like, you don't really want to build the Dusknoir. It's very expensive, and you have Hex as a fast move. We have Dark Pulse, I think, as well. You have basically the same moveset with a worse fast move compared to Kofagrigas. Just build a normal Kofagrigas. You don't need legacy moves. It is way better. It's bulky. I think it's even cheaper to build. There's no reason to have even Dusknoir around, sadly. But yeah, same goes for Shadow Force right now in Giratina. It is so sad. I really wish that they buff this move a little bit. Yes, I know Giratina is already very strong, but I would rather have Shadow Force being like the more common secondary charge move, where it's actually like a very risky move to go for, compared to the Shadow Sneak right now. So like, just give it like 10 to 20 more damage, and I think it would be totally fair still. But right now, Shadow Force, very, very sad that it's a very, very bad move to go for. Never go for it. Like, it's really bad. It has a cool animation, but it's like, sadly, so much wasted potential there. So yeah, I wish it would get buffed a little bit, just like a tiny bit. Not that it's going to be completely busted and whatever, but just like buff it to like 10 more damage or like 10 less energy or something, and you would be totally fine with this Pokemon. But yeah, it's kind of sad. We're going to see the next Pokemon going to be Skytech Moltres. Kind of fun to use, not gonna lie. But we have Charizard, so like, it's more of a spicy pick. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's going to be better than something like Hurricane on the Articuno, but it's not going to be great. Next Pokemon going to be the yeah, it's kind of, you really want to have the Slowbro here as the Galarian form. Very cool Pokemon. I kind of want to make a video about this Pokemon, but I have to build it again. But the other ones, like this one, is also kind of fine. The normal Slowbro, they have like better movesets compared to the other ones, but the other ones are more like spice picks, where like, yes, the move works out, but you don't really want to have it if you have the other variants of it. Like, the Bro variants are just better than the King variants, which is kind of sad, but they just going to stay down there. Techno Blast on the Genesect. Actually, a very interesting move to go for, depending on which meta you're facing. So actually, Genesect had some impact already in earlier cups, so I actually would put it a little bit higher, maybe around like Mewtwo level. Very cool Pokemon there. Unlike the Sacred Sword variant here of the like what's called the Terrakion. Other than the other two here, this Pokemon has a very bad typing and way more attack, which makes it way more squishy. So honestly, yeah, it's just no to use in this meta right now. Don't really would recommend you to go for it. Thunder on the Regice is a little bit better in my opinion than the Earthquake here. I think where's the Regirock already? The Regirock is here, a little bit above this one, maybe or somewhere around here. Thunder is definitely a little bit better. But let's take a look at the next Pokemon here, going to be the Typhlosion. It sadly fell off. It's more like a spicy pick nowadays. It was very decent back in the day, but nowadays it is not really that nice. Double Iron Bash on the MEWeedle is definitely something that is cool to have. I feel like it's a good Pokemon to use, especially if you're like in lower tier metas. It's a cheaper Pokemon to get because I can just get it for free. But yeah, like I would put it like somewhere low tier, good to have, very cool Pokemon. Venusaur. Honestly, it's kind of sad, but Venusaur is not that great in the Ultra League. Like, it's really not great. I would even put it like somewhere low, super low here. It's so sad to see because like it's really cool in the Great League. Like in the Great League, it's really, really nice. But for the Ultra League, I don't really see it too much. I even would say that the Roserade is a little bit better than this Pokemon. Not by much though, but yeah, this is going to be basically it for this tier list. It was a very fast one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you agree with this, definitely leave a like here. Otherwise, of course, you can always write comments in the comment section what you would do a little bit different. In general, the bottom half, it doesn't really matter really what's in here. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you don't really want to go for those Pokemon anyway, unless you want to be a little bit spicy. But the top half is like the ones that you kind of want to try to go for, maybe, especially like the top tier Pokemon, and then like it goes down by like the other ones here. Like Breaking Swipe on the Hexos is kind of nice, a little bit lower to be fair. Should be more accurate for this Pokemon. But like, yeah, there are not actually that crazy many Pokemon that need the legacy moves in this meta, and basically the top tier meta Pokemon here on top is basically all what you need for this meta anyway. Like, you're always going to see them. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.